Okay, well, what I'm sitting here with right now is an MBO4. It's a sniper rifle I used for 8.7.0s. It's really nice. And so I decided that I was going to make a gun cover. I've been working on a ghillie suit for a little while now, and I thought that this big black gun is going to be really easy to see. And just like here, I'm going to go around, that way you can see how big it is in comparison to me. Okay, well, I'm 5'7", so it's fairly large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop off the bipod here. Okay, the bipod's off. And here, I'm going to set this down and show you guys the cover without the gun in it. It's not complete yet, but it's almost there. The only part that's left to do on this side is probably about 2 or 3 inches on the top. I purposely left some of this right here underneath my hands, the back side. I purposely let some of this be unnetted, that way you could use the bolt and stuff. But what it is it's burlap stranded out and tied on individually. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this camera. Each string is tied on there individually. And all I did was, they're doubled over. All I did was a loop knot. If you don't know how to do that, I'll show you eventually. Yeah, all I did was a loop knot and strung out a whole bunch of burlap. If you buy it by square foot, it's tons easier than buying like at Walmart sells them for like 20 feet or whatever. You can buy it, like that pawn shop that I buy carabiners from, they sell burlap by square foot. So that makes things a little bit easier. Alright, and here it is on the gun itself. It's really cool looking. Just overall, this side's not done yet. This side's almost done. And so what I did was, I didn't put the ghillie all the way back, actually. So if you line it up right on the scope, you can still run the bolt. But the idea is, if you're wearing a ghillie suit and you have it ghillied up your arm, the only thing that's going to be showing is this piece right here, because all of this will be covered by your ghillie shoulder and things like that. If you don't know how to make a shoulder cover for your ghillie, you can actually just add a piece of netting that you intend to make it as a throw over, and you ghillie both sides of it, so when it's flipped over your back, you can't see it, you can't tell it's there, and when it's flipped over the gun, that way you've got something right here that's covering all this if you don't have your arm ghillie, but that's your choice. On this side, I hang the ghillie down a little bit farther because my hand's actually underneath here. So let's pretend I'm left-handed for a minute. I didn't sew the bottom of it together, so I can put my hand underneath here, and it's because the clip's on the bottom. I'll take this out one-handed here. The clip's on the bottom right here. The only place it's actually sewn, like the net is actually sewn together to fit the gun, is right here in front of the where the barrel stops and the stock starts, so it can't slide backward. And then right underneath the scope, right here, I just kind of cut a slot and sewed it some places to fit tighter, and right here in the back, so it doesn't slide too far off, it won't go any farther. So as long as you got it lined up with the front scope, that's where it's intended to sit. And eventually, I'm going to get this side done. But it won't take too long now. I've got some tools to help. And actually, I think I can get those out right now and show you. As far as like the ghillie getting in the bolt and stuff, that's kind of why I stopped where I did on this side. Get it around here. It's because I didn't want the burlap getting in the bolt itself. That would suck. So I'm going to put the bipod, yeah, it does. I did make it so the bipod would fit on the front though, so I'll pop the bipod on here and show you guys the tools to make a ghillie cover like this one. Now, this is my second ghillie cover I've ever made. The first one was just burlap cut into the gun shape. Like basically, it's the same thing that I did with the netting, only I just used burlap. I didn't string it out or anything. And so there it is with the bipod. Yeah, that's right, you can't tell it's there, can you? Yeah, it's there, see it? But it's intended to be long enough to kind of cover. So when you're sitting in the grass, they can't tell it's there. That's the idea. So let me get out the other tools. So here's some strung out burlap. This is probably about the half string, not like the full string. Oh, here's this full string right here. This is a full string. I know it's really hard to see, but it's, do it like this. Okay. Cameras are messing me up. Okay, this is folded in half, so it's actually twice this long, but I can't show you that. If I go far enough back to get both my hands in, you won't be able to see it. So this is the full length string. It's actually longer than the camera will let me show. And the other thing I use is, I'm not quite sure what this is. It's, I think it's knitting is what it is for, but it's got a little thumb piece. It's got a little flat piece for your thumb. Put your thumb on there, and on the very, very end, it's got this little hook that's really good for reaching in the net and grabbing the strand of burlap and pulling it back through so you can finish the knot. It's really all about how well you scatter it. The pattern that I used in putting on the burlap itself on the gun cover was, okay, this is catfish netting, is what the netting is on this. And on all of this, I did every other square. Like, started at the very bottom and went on the bottom strand, skipped one, next strand, next strand, next strand. And then I alternated it like a checkerboard. And so instead of having a row like this, it has empty, filled, empty, filled, empty, filled going across, and empty, filled going up. And so it looks like a checkerboard in the fact that it's tied on there like that. And let me see if I can show it to you on this side. It's going to be really hard to see. But it's got a nut, like they're going in diagonal, so you can kind of see it right there. They're going in diagonals, and then there's some empty. But when you flip it over, it sits just fine. And like the overall idea for this is for it not to be straight down. Like, you can mess it up and like twist these up all you want to and make it stick out where you want to and fold down where you want it to. But again, I live in the southern United States, so we have a lot of dry grass, empty fields, things like that. A lot of woods with dead pine needles in the bottom of them, so that burlap, that gray tone or that brown tone, light tan tone looks great. The only thing I may ever do is do an imprinted leaf shaped where you get an actual leaf and you spray paint the outline, and then you take the leaf off, and that's just completely dependent on how well it works when I get it completely done. As far as overall use of the guns themselves, hold on, let me get you something else to show you. Alright, these are the two different kinds of burlap I use. This is camouflage burlap, where it's sewn to make it look like there's branches in there, which gives it, so it's basically dyed. Like, there's like U.S. Army gets this kind of burlap. This is like a burlap sack that's been cut up. Oh no, this is my original gun cover, actually. That's really weird. I didn't even know that was in here. Yeah, this was my original gun cover, if it shows you how much I've gained. This is a year ago when I had no idea what I was doing. And this was the scope hole. So it would sit like this. It was not very good. I tried to throw some spray paint on there, it didn't work very well. But they'll get these and they'll unstrand them and dye them and do what I did. But that's all dependent on where you live at. I learned that the camo burlap looks a lot like the woods around here, so I don't have to dye a thing, and that's great for me. Some people, I know a Canadian guy who dyes his. He goes back to his family every once in a while, plays airsoft with them, and he has a solid white cover for his airsoft gun because the snow and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's just completely dependent on where you live. It could be purple for all I care. But, catfish thing's okay. They're kind of, the squares are probably 1/4 of an inch, so it's not very, it's not what I would recommend, but it does work. If you just can't find anything else, we got catfish netting at Walmart in the fishing section. It was pretty simple. I use a little, I use the MBO4 and Walmart CO2 pistol. I mean, it works fine. I'm working on getting the Desert Beretta SOCOM, but, you know, got some other things need to pay for. So, yeah, that's completely in the works. I picked that desert tone because, again, the environment around here is greenish tan, so the tan gun will work better than the black gun any day. We're gonna do some more rappelling videos and show you how to. I already made an equipment vid that showed what you see in my hand right here. Figure 8, locking carabiner, non-locking carabiner, and ACT, which is really cool. But I'm going to show you eventually how all those work together, and how exactly to do the climbing thing, because I know that it seems really weird if you've never seen somebody do it before. Like, the foot locking thing seemed crazy to me when I first saw it, and it was completely stupid. I was like, that's going to tire you out way more than you gain, but then you go do it and it doesn't tire you out that much. It's just dangerous. This is intended to not be dangerous. I was belaying a rock wall with an ACT one time, and I had it strapped in like it's supposed to be, like we do, and the kid was climbing up, and he just straight got scared and jumped clean off, and I wasn't ready for it. And the ACT, because the way it works, it lowered him down. So I wouldn't recommend trying it. Like, I think it was a 1 in a million thing, but it might work. If you're sitting up in the tree with an ACT and you just let go, I think it'll just lower you down. Like, I don't know exactly how it works. I understand that if there's weight on it, it's gonna put friction on the rope. Sort of like a shear reduction device that they use on rock walls and stuff to keep kids from a pulley reduces friction, a shear reduction increases friction, so that's whatever. Yeah, I think that's it. Subscribe, look for more vids. Thanks.